All right, we welcome you back to another edition of the Feed Elite Athletic Podcast presented by John Roberts Toyota in Manchester, Tennessee. We ask you to please go see them. It is 2026. This is our first podcast of the year. We're sitting here in the press box of Ligler Field, and who better to have than our soccer director, Kevin Moore. Kevin, how's it going, man?
It's going great.
So I just referred to you as the soccer director.
Mm-hmm.
So that is a new position for you. Tell the audience today what that entails and how is that different from what you were doing previously.
Gotcha. Yeah, I was recently appointed director of soccer there at the end of last semester. Was previously just the boys varsity coach.
Yep.
And now I oversee all four teams: middle school boys and girls, high school boys and girls.
Yep.
I think the big word is support.
Mm-hmm.
Giving our coaches and our players more support, more feedback, players having more attention focused on them. So I think that, our program is consistently growing more and more and more, and we have so many soccer players on campus, and
Yep.
It's hard for any coach to just singly focus on all of them. And so I think me being in my position gives those coaches more flexibility to really focus on their teams. And I can kind of think a little bit more big picture while also, giving our students even more support than they've had.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So how long have you been at Webb?
I'm going on 6 years. No, I'm on my 6th year now. Yeah, next year is 7.
Okay,
Yeah.
So talk to the audience about your experience with Webb. It's a unique place. It's in a great location. It's a beautiful campus. It's got a rich history. But in your experience in that 6-7 years, kind of talk 6-7, obviously. Kids are probably going to get us on that.
We're
right?
definitely going to hear that. Yeah.
But talk to the audience today about your experience at Webb and just take a deep dive into your personal experience.
Man, I love Webb. I love the idea of representing an organization in general.
Yep.
Being able to, have that W kind of branded on you everywhere is something that I love. And ultimately, I love what our school stands for. I think that, in our time right now, Webb is a giant bubble. Mm-hmm. It's a bubble of, inclusivity and diversity and all these wonderful things that you maybe don't find everywhere.
Yeah.
And you have those like-minded people that are really supportive of that love that the way I do.
Mm-hmm.
And so it is very much turned into a home of mine. And so I've worn a lot of hats here. And so, but it has primarily revolved around soccer and the admissions department. Yeah. So started out with the high school girls and high school boys in the same season. That was quickly too much.
Yeah.
On top of admissions. And so we were lucky enough to find Coach Gregory to take over the high school girls. Mm-hmm. And then from the admission standpoint, I was primarily doing a lot of the day market. And then just recently I have moved into the international recruitment pool. And so, which I'm really excited about. Again, I think, even if I've taken your family on a tour, you've definitely heard me say that my favorite part about Webb is the international component.
Sure.
We benefit greatly, the soccer program, from the international students, but you just can't find that. You can't find this element everywhere. Mm-hmm. That's for sure. For someone that was born in Middle Tennessee, from other students that were born in Middle Tennessee to come here and have your head kind of taken out of everything you've grown up around and be put into an environment where you have to understand there are different upbringings, cultures, values, circumstances. I think it's so good for kids' own development. Mm-hmm. I know it's even as an adult, it's helped me develop as an adult even further. And so very grateful for Webb. Love what it stands for, love the mission, love the people. Yeah. So I hope I'm here for a lot longer.
Yeah. So you mentioned earlier about all the caps that you've worn. Can you go down the list of everything that you've done since you've been here?
Yeah. So high school, both boys and girls coach. Yeah. And then high school for the majority of the time. Then a director of day market in the admissions office. Now I'm senior enrollment counselor that does the international recruitment in the office, and then now kind of gone into the director of soccer world, where I'm just kind of overseeing and looking at it from the bird's eye view. So,
Tell our audience, because you're in admissions, right? So you are constantly dealing with people from other countries trying to get kids to this beautiful place. But what makes Webb so appealing from a kid from another country?
It's, for one, the academics.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't stress that enough, that there is no kid that is coming to our school that's not pursuing a high academic experience.
Sure.
And so that is priority number one.
Yeah.
And we have the school to provide that for them.
Yeah.
And so you mix the high academics with, great athletics. And then also, I think the important thing is our location.
Yeah.
The city of Bell Buckle
is
so unique. You're far enough removed to be able to say you're in a beautiful area.
Yeah.
I mean, sunset is a great time of day here.
It is. Yeah.
You're in the country. You're in the fresh air. There's really nothing else for students to do except focus on yourself, on your academics, and on your game.
Yeah.
And I think that's a great environment for young people to be in.
Yeah.
But you're also close enough to those big cities to where you can go watch an SC game.
Yeah.
For example, me and the boys went to the Nashville SC game to watch Inter Miami play Messi, and that was an amazing experience.
Yeah.
So we're so close enough to the big cities to enjoy those things. But I think it's why our students walk away with independence, with a real sense of accountability, which maybe not all kids in our country walk away with when they go on to college.
Right.
And so I think that alone, that system is so well made and so instilled in this school that no matter what their experience is, they're going to walk away with independence, accountability, an understanding of how to be responsible. And I love that about the school.
So talking about that, let's take a deep dive into you. You are obviously in love with the game of soccer. You've wore many hats in the game of soccer. You've played in high school, right? And then you've coached, and now you're a director of soccer operations. And what drew you to this game?
Yeah, I think at a young age, my dad kind of inadvertently pushed the game on me. We had this channel growing up called Fox Soccer Channel, and if you're an OG soccer fan, then you know that channel.
Okay.
All
right.
But it was like the first soccer channel that was in the U.S., in the United States, and one of the main teams that were on there was Manchester United, which is my diehard team.
Still to this day.
Okay. I love that team.
Shout out.
Man United is my all-time team, no matter what. And so boys know they can't walk out here in a Liverpool shirt. Okay, it's against the rules.
Okay.
But yeah, so I was at a young age and was able to be influenced by a team, and that team had players, and those players were my heroes.
Yeah.
And that I fell in love with it through them.
Yeah.
So I give a lot of credit to that team. And then played my whole life. I was lucky enough to be in the same neighborhood of a man who's really reputable in Rutherford County. He still coaches there. Played Division I soccer, so you see him training and the work ethic he's putting in, and so I learned a lot from him.
Yeah.
And so yeah, those two influences really just made me just fall in love with it and get addicted to it. Really.
That's cool, man. So let's go into the soccer here at Webb. Rich history. I think we've had a lot of successful seasons, both boys and girls. And tell us just give us a recap of the girls program. They played in the fall, and just kind of tell us how they ended up doing.
Yeah, so they finished with a 6-7 record.
Okay.
When I look at the girls program, for one, we have coaches that are so committed. Coach Gregory, I mean, you could argue his life goal is to make this program one of the top in the state. And so just to have a coach that has that ambition, I think is really important. It's not just another season to him. He really tries to go for it every season. I love that about him.
Yeah.
If you have been here in 2020, our girls team, we have come so long. And so I have to constantly we've come so far. Right. I have to constantly give myself that perspective of how far that program has actually come. But make no mistake, I think that one of my biggest goals in this new position is to get that girls team up to the same level and standard as the boys program.
Right.
So cool. They deserve it. The players that are on that team want it.
Yeah.
I think that is very doable. And so I expect a really competitive year next year.
And then when you talk about the middle school girls, kind of tell the audience how they did this year.
Yeah. So they won district championship. That's 2 in 3 years.
Right.
And so we look at our team next year and we feel really good as well.
Yeah.
I know, Cascade's going to be a good team. I know that, but I feel really good about the middle school girls team next year. But I think big picture is that our future for the girls' high school program looks bright.
That's cool.
And so making sure that we capitalize on that is priority number one.
Yep.
And making sure all of them are having a good experience. I know that, above all, wins and losses are certainly important, but if all of our players can walk away this next season from the experience of, man, I love my team, I love our program, I loved my coaches, then that culture in general will just continue to get better and better and better.
That's awesome. So let's translate a little bit to the boys, right? Coach Moore is no longer the head coach, so we obviously had to fill that position. Tell our audience who we decided to lead our boys program as the head coach, and what are your expectations for those boys for this upcoming season? Yeah,
so we have appointed Coach Mackenzie Stout as our new head coach, who has a lot of experience. Yep. And I think my favorite part about Mackenzie is that he goes by Coach Mack, by the way.
Okay.
So my favorite part about Coach Mack is how dedicated he is. He takes it very serious, and he gives the boys a lot of attention. Mm-hmm. He's done one-on-one meetings and, really talking to them about college and like game planning, those things, which I think has really been needed in our program.
Yeah.
And so really excited about him. And so we still have at the core of it as well, we still have Coach Diego Gutierrez, who's been the assistant here for 5 seasons now, who is so important to our team.
Yeah.
And then now Coach Harden, Coach Ben Harden, he's been the assistant coach for the girls program and the boys program. And now he can really kind of step into a goalkeeping coaching role, which is what he wants to do. It's his best role by far, and so I'm excited for him too. So me moving in this position gets to round out and solidify everyone else's roles. So the team itself, is it a deep team as far as depth? Is it a young team? Is it an old team with experience? What do you expect from that area? Yeah, I think our team this year is comparable to the team last year. Yeah. We have some players have left, but we had new players come in, and more importantly, we have a freshman class that is in. Yeah. And a sophomore class that has really improved, and so. I think us being deep, I think is ultimately up to those guys and how much they want to step up in their role. Yep. I think we have a really promising young group of players that, our program does not, if you're a freshman, it's not like you don't play. If you are, one of the big things that Manchester United says is, if you're good enough, you're old enough. Yeah. And so I think our freshmen definitely fit that bill. And have an opportunity to really make a good impact. So I think that's one of the cool things at Webb. We talked a little bit before the podcast just about the opportunities at Webb are unlimited. There's so many things here that you can do and achieve, and regardless of your age, you can be given an opportunity to succeed. And I think it's good for future reference. Some people may say, well, freshmen or underclassmen may hurt the program, but as a coach, you're thinking long term. You're always thinking for the future. And 2-3 years, these same freshmen that may have adversity, they're going to be more equipped because they've been through those battles. They've been through that adversity. And I'm sure as a coach, as now a director of soccer, you can attest to that. No, definitely. I that's something that I love. I love watching younger players be thrown into the fire. Me too. Yep. I love that. And ultimately, like when you have that approach, and we've seen it time and time again, and when you have that approach, and by that time those boys become seniors, those boys are more inclined to help the freshmen at that stage, and then it becomes just this revolving cycle of, good culture, positivity, all those things. And so, as much as we as coaches want to be the mentors of our players, I want our seniors and upperclassmen to be the mentors of our freshmen and middle schoolers and so on. And so we have a bunch of players right now that fit that role really well. That's great. So last question,
You can go any area with this. When you think about your favorite memory or most iconic memory at Webb, what's the first thing that pops in your mind?
Yeah, I think the first time we went to the state Final Four.
Okay. What year was that?
That was 2022.
Okay.
I think 22 or 23. They're all starting to blur together now.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think our first time at the state Final Four was definitely the piece where I look at the most. I think that it was the first moment where I could really kind of look at our program and say, A, we're heading in the right direction, and B, like what our program is actually capable of.
Yeah.
The direction it could actually go in.
Mm-hmm.
That's another great thing about Webb is that I feel like our programs can, if we buckle down and do the work, it can get better and better every year.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I think that experience was amazing, and I'm so grateful for the boys that were a part of that team, because that was my first group of boys, and and they, we had a team in 2009 and 2010 that went to the state final.
Okay.
And then since then it was nothing. So, or not very competitive.
Yep.
And so I kind of look at this since 2020 and up as like the new era of Webb soccer. And so because of that, I see that group in 2022 was like the pioneers of our program. They broke through, and if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't continue to have the players we have now. We wouldn't have the culture we have now.
Yeah.
The standards we have now. So I owe a lot to those boys. And so they're playing college soccer still and doing well. And so if it weren't for them, we wouldn't be in a situation the way we are now. So
that's awesome, man. And I think there's just a lot of good things happening around not only Webb, but just Webb soccer, man. I just think there's a lot of great things, a lot of positivity, and the future's bright.
Definitely. We have a long way to go, which I think is even more exciting.
Yeah.
That we're not even close to getting to a point where we can all look at my program and say, like, this is a perfect program. It's not, but we're making big steps to get there. And so the good news is that we have the opportunity to do it, which maybe some schools don't have that opportunity.
Awesome. So, all right. So first game of the season for the boys. When is it?
February 24th here at home against St. Andrews Swanee.
Okay.
Preseason game.
Perfect. So to our audience, definitely be in attendance for that. And we may just stay here. We may just camp out in this press box.
I'm fine with that.
And wait for the game to be here.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll just stay here.
All right. You'll know where we're at. So, hey, Coach Moore, we appreciate you coming on to the podcast, man, and looking forward to the upcoming seasons.
Yes,
so
absolutely.
Thank you again to the viewer for tuning in to the Feed Elite Athletic Podcast presented by John Roberts Toyota. We ask you to please go see them. Continue to subscribe to our YouTube channels, and have a great night.